Can you put your hand at your chest? It's time to say, hello, Venerable Sir.
Hello, sir.
Nice. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you again. So let's start with meditation right away. So let's sit in a comfortable meditation posture. Make sure your back is erect. We are gradually dwindling. Seems like the fall semester is quite demanding for you all. So I'm very happy that I'm seeing you here, that I'm meeting you here. If you have a lot of duties for school, it's very important to keep your school as a priority. All right, our meetings here are always secondary, so if you feel like you cannot make it for this meeting, just don't come. If you feel you cannot make homework, if you don't do homework 2 times, it's totally fine. If you don't do it for the 3rd time, well, then that's true, then you would be disqualified, and there are no exceptions. But again, if you feel you cannot come, you don't have to come. And if you miss out a homework or 2, nobody really cares. All right, I'm happy that you're coming, but if our class, if you feel that it is reducing your chances for being successful, for having good marks, good grades at school, then you definitely should postpone our meetings. We will probably continue like this for next years. Next years, we may branch out into also Vietnamese and other versions of these meetings. So if you miss out this year, it doesn't really matter much. There will be opportunities other years as well. If you, however, in order that you can go to a higher grade, you will need to have at least 75% attendance. So if you cannot be disqualified. So if you are disqualified, then it doesn't matter whatever is your attendance or whatever you are doing. You will not be eligible for going to the next year. Instead, you would be. We will recommend you to repeat the year. So you definitely don't want to be disqualified. But if you are qualified, it's necessary that you have at least 75% attendance. All right. So if during that year we have, let's say we would have about 48. We probably will have about 44. Let's say we will have 44 classes during that 1 year. 1 year has 52 weeks. Let's say that we lose about 8 classes. So in that case, you need to have at least 33 classes with your presence. You need to be present. You need to be physically present here, online, live. If you are not present at least 33 times, let's say you're present only 32, well, then that means you did not succeed, and so you would have to repeat if you want to continue in these classes. And because this is already so systematized, you can be pretty sure that if you repeat, you will be doing the same thing again. Exactly, well, not exactly, but relatively the same thing. Of course, in the again, some people may be asking. Now, you're not asking me here usually anything, but if there are some questions, then of course the other years there may be some different questions. I may be answering some things. So it depends. In some classes, students ask. In some, they don't ask. When students ask, of course, the class gets much higher quality because I'm then addressing things that the students really want to know. If you don't ask me anything, well, then I'm telling you what I want you to know, not what you personally, specifically want to know. So that's a big difference. In our class, I can see that you're not asking questions. I would very much appreciate if you do. So let's see how things happen in the future. But I know that sometimes I have teenage classes and they do ask questions. So I had that before we had this class. I had a different class, and there actually I was asked questions almost every meeting. So I'm actually used to get classes. And I do not agree when people say, oh, these teenagers, they don't know how to ask. No, it's not true. They know. They just don't ask for some reason. I'm not sure. Maybe they're shy, or they worry that other students will mock them or humiliate them or something like that. I don't know. I'm sure you have questions. But for the time being, I'm still learning how to make you more open. So it's necessary to attend at least 75% of our classes, and it's necessary to write a homework at least once every 3 weeks. Okay, so this would be like the absolutely bare minimum. Then you can move on to the next class. We do not have any tests. I'm considering making tests, but for the time being, I think it's not necessary. But we will see in the future. We'll see if that's needed or if it's useful for something. Probably if I see that in the higher classes, the students don't know the basics that I explained in the higher years, the higher grades, they don't know what I explained in the lower grade, then probably I will have to employ some tests to make sure that all students, start at some kind of similar level. That's the point, that you start at a similar level. So if one gets bored, all get bored. Or another way, if one likes the class, all of them like the class. So I try to tell you some things that I hope are telling you something new, that it's of course better if you already knew it, but I hope that you find those things interesting, that you would like to know them, that you would like to remember them. And if you already know it all, then of course it's boring. So we want to have the classes, structured in such a way that the students learn something new, regardless whether it's the first grade or second grade or the third grade. Great. So we can sit in a comfortable meditation posture. Let's make our back erect. Side cast down. We'll meditate with opened eyes. We don't close our eyes during meditation unless there's pain, unless there are tears coming in, unless there's insects disturbing. We can blink as much as we want, but we see the floor or whatever is there right in front of us down there. So we cast the sight down. And we can make the first determination in our minds voicelessly from now on. From now on, for 12 minutes, I will meditate on muscles and radiate loving kindness without any movement. From now on, for 12 minutes, I will meditate on muscles and radiate loving kindness without any movement. From now on, for 12 minutes, I will meditate on muscles and radiate loving kindness without any movement. And with that determination, we can gently, lovingly notice the flat piece of flesh at the top of the head. We allow it to be heavy. And changing. We continue to the forehead, eyes, nose, lips, chin, cheeks, ears, back of the head, We allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the head to be heavy and changing. We continue to the neck, shoulders, arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms, fingers, tips of fingers, chest, abdomen, back, we allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the upper part of the body to be heavy and changing. We continue to the buttocks, thighs, knees, calves, heels, soles, toes, tips of toes, and we allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the body to be heavy and changing. Now, as we have given the freedom to the body to be the way it is, we have achieved freedom from worry about the body. Let's enjoy this freedom. Let's watch this peace. Now let's share our peace with other living beings. In our minds, voicelessly, we can wish, we can allow. May all beings, including me, be in peace. May all beings, including me, be in peace. Now, because the time for this sitting is finished, let's make the last determination in our minds voicelessly. From now on, I will always be calm. From now on, I will always be calm. From now on, I will always be calm. And with that determination, we can slowly, mindfully change the way of our sitting. And we can take one more minute to enjoy motionlessly the peace we gained in meditation. Very well. So, everybody can come close to your camera. You can unmute. I will give you 3 refuges, 5 presets. So I would like to ask everyone to unmute. Pham Tung Chi and Nguyen Huang Chi, you can unmute. And Jane Ngọc Can Van also. Pham Tung Chi, can you hear me? Are you here? Alright, so let's start. Yamahang vadami tan vadetha. Aham bhanti. Tisaranena saha. Panchasilang dhammang yajami.
Panchasilam Yajami.
Anuggaham katva.
Anuggaham
Silang deta me bhanti.
Silam Bhante.
Anukampang upadaya.
Anukampam Upadaya.
Dutiyampi aham bhanti.
Yamante.
Tisaranena saha.
Anina Saha.
Panchasilang dhammang yajami.
Panchasilam Dhammam Yajami.
Anuggaham katva.
Anuggaham Kadva.
Silang deta me bhanti.
Silam Bhante.
Anukampang upadaya.
Anukampam Upadaya.
Tatiyampi aham bhanti.
Tatyam Bhante.
Tisaranena saha.
Isaranena Saha.
Panchasilang dhammang yajami.
Panchasilam Dhammam Yajami.
Anuggaham katva.
Anuggaham Kadva.
Silang deta me bhanti.
Silam Bhante.
Anukampang upadaya.
Anukampam Upadaya.
Do you think you can turn on your camera?
So apparently I forgot my webcam.
Okay, well, for this time, let's see that it's okay, but always please come with cam, because without cam, actually, I do not allow the students to attend this class. All right. So, do you think you can have it next time?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, very well. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
So first comes the Buddha, then the Buddha's teachings Dhamma, and then the community of monks, Sangha. Sarana gamanang paripunnang.
Amabante.
So Pham Tung Chi, can you tell me what's the first precept?
The first precept is not killing.
Panati pata vera manisikha padang samadhiyami.
Panati pata samadhiyami.
Taolian, can you tell me what's the second precept?
The second precept is taking what is not given.
Yes, not stealing. Let's use not stealing. It's easier and simpler. Adinna dana vera manisikha padang samadhiyami.
Adina dana samadhiyami.
So, Jingo Kanvan, what is the third precept?
I think it's refraining from sexual misconduct.
Misconduct, perfect. Kame sumichachara vera manisikha padang samadhiyami.
Kame sumichachara vera samadhiyami.
Can you write your name in full? He wrote T. If you can rename so that there is the name. Yes, Timo. So, Timo, what is the fourth precept?
No lying.
Not telling lies. That's right. Thank you. Musavada vera manisikha padang samadhiyami.
Musavada vera
Leung Min Tuan, what is the fifth precept?
Not taking any alcohol or alcohol
Yes, or
like drugs
or taking drugs. Perfect. Sura meraya machapamada thana vera manisikha padang samadhiyami. Saranena saddhing panchasilang dhammang sadhukang surakkitang gatva appamadena sampadetha. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be successful in everything you do. Very well, so let's look at the homework right away.
We have the question and answer first, Devante. Question about the
Oh
homework
yes, thank you very much. So let's ask, how many days in the last 7 days did you meditate? Let me see. All right, looks pretty good. Most of you did meditate at least half of the days. So I think it's good. It's pretty good. I'm not sure whether I should be asking you this question every time we're meeting. But one thing I worry that if I don't ask you, that you will feel like, oh, now it finally doesn't matter. So I don't know. So what we could do is that I don't ask you 1 week, and then we see if I ask you the second week whether it has got reduced or whether it is better or the same. But it's been already about 6 months that I have been encouraging you to meditate every day, right? So I think by this time you may remember that. All right, so now let's ask you, when do you do your homework? Oh, we have some very interesting statistics today. Wow. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Half of you say that you have done it on the same day. Actually more, yeah. This is actually more. 54% of you did the homework on the same day or the next day. I literally cannot believe, literally cannot believe that. So that's a result that we probably never had before. So that's very good. I'm wondering how was that possible? You had maybe some holidays or something was happening. It's pretty good. If you can maintain it like this every week, it's great. And it's a good habit that you can then use at school and for everything else. Doing the homework right the same day or the next day is extremely beneficial, because you then do not need to think about it throughout the week and just enjoy the time. No worries. All right, that's pretty good. That's truly amazing. So I would like to ask Tumchi, Tianfu, and Kanban to raise your hand. And let's start reading. So, Pham Tumchi. Please remember to read the chapter name, the page number, and then the sentence.
Chapter.
Yes, so I can help you. It's chapter 15, but I don't remember the name of the chapter. So, Tutam, can you show us some other note where it is written? Oh, usually people didn't write it. You need to write that. Chapter 15, Sports and Concussions. All right, so please be careful to say that in the beginning when you're writing your notes and the homework. Always please mention that.
Chapter 15, Sports and Concussions, page 180. The damage to the brain is also not easy to detect because it is not usually structural. Page 181. According to the most recent research, high school athletes who suffer 3 or more concussions are at an 8-fold increased risk for loss of consciousness after a successive concussion and a 5.5-fold increased risk for anterograde post-traumatic amnesia, in which the adolescent has trouble forming new memories.
Here, anterograde means going further, so it means going into the future, all right? So anterograde, post-traumatic amnesia. Anterograde means going to the future. Post-traumatic means after a trauma, that means after the concussion, and amnesia means forgetting. So forgetting things that will happen in the future, after they happen in the near future, due to the trauma that happened before. Thank you very much. Very well. And let's continue to Tien Phu. And please, it is concussion.
So chapter 15, Sports and Concussion, page 181. Essentially, after the brain is violently moved inside school, while chemical onslaught of opium and potassium floods the brain, causing two things happen. First, these chemicals in excess damage and destroy brain cells. Second, to pump out these excess chemicals, the brain needs is shaft energy source, glucose. Page 185. When teenage brains take a hit, the injury is infected because the teenage brain is still developing. The injury is a trauma not just to a piece of gray matter, but also to what would have been had the brain continue to develop without incident.
Yeah. So the injury then grows with the brain, or the brain grows, and the brain grows the injury. Very well. Excellent notes. Thank you very much. Trin Ngọc Khang Văn.
Chapter 15, Sports and Concussions, page 177. Head trauma can have lots of sequences, even when there is no obvious major brain injury. Page 181. The cognitive effects of concussion include amnesia, slow or fuzzy thinking, an inability to concentrate, and an inability to remember new information.
Very well. Thank you very much. So I will now retrieve what I have. So chapter 15, I will be reading for you just this one. But because you can see I have so many red things, and the red, if it is here like _S, it means that it's serious, it means that it's important. But I have too many of them. And I think what you have read is pretty good already. So I'll be reading for you only this one thing that I have highlighted. Among high school sports with male or female participation, soccer, lacrosse, basketball, baseball, softball, and gymnastics, girls sustain concussions nearly 70% more often than boys, even though boys participate in these sports at a rate slightly higher than girls. So girls need to be more careful. All right. So boys have 100%, girls have 170%. So for every 10 boys who suffer concussion, you get 17 girls who suffer concussion. All right. So now what I would like to show you is a website. And in this website, we will need some videos. And I have got permission to broadcast for you 3 of the videos, but I want to broadcast to you 1 more for which I didn't get permission. So it's a little complicated. It's called Wondrium.com. As you can see, it's called Wondrium. And Wondrium is a website that houses a lot of courses, a lot of lectures. They're literally lectures. You do not really write any tests or things, or up to my knowledge, but you do get to hear a lot of lectures. So I already have this account, so I'm going to show you the situation. I would like, but it's very good if you can, see these lectures yourself, because then I can be free from the copyright infringement, and you probably already know the problem with copyright. So what I would like to tell you that I like very much is about sports and concussions. So where it is. Yeah, that's right. Here it is. Concussions and the future of football. Here. So you would search the Skeptic's Guide to Health, right? The Skeptic's Guide to Health, and there, number 2, concussions. You can probably get 30 days free if you never used this before. So you are not really paying anything. You may, however, need a credit card or a debit card to register for the 30 days free. But I personally believe this is so much worth it. It's so good. Some of the lectures are very good. I have seen quite a few courses from this website, and I can definitely recommend it. Some of the courses also have a book. You see, like here you have a guidebook. It's actually a PDF which summarizes the lectures. You have like the notes in that PDF, so you can look it up. If you don't want to write notes yourself, well, then you just use the PDF which already contains notes. And this whole course is amazing. I have seen it all. It's so good. But for our needs at this moment, concussions and the future of football helps very much. Now, after you finish reading this book, which will be about after 4 weeks, you will need, I will appreciate, so that I do not break any copyright, I will appreciate if all of you have registered at least the 30 days free. And I want to show you suicide prevention. And there is, by the same author of these lectures, by the way, there are 3 lectures. There are 3 lectures about preventing suicide, and we'll be looking at that. We'll be literally watching all of the 3, and you will be writing notes as you're watching these 3 lectures. So if you can, it's definitely good. I would be very happy if I can, avoid the copyright problem, and so that nobody can say that I'm breaking some copyright. I will be broadcasting for you all of these 3 videos. Each takes about 20 minutes. I will probably watch 1 video each lesson. So for 3 weeks we will spend talking about suicide. All right, so I will send you the link. And let's continue. We'll be looking at Ogata. All right, so I would like to ask everyone to unmute. And you can repeat after me. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me.
In order that all of the faults, sabbadosa,
In order that all the faults, sabbadosa,
done by body kaya kamma,
done by body, kaya,
speech vachi kamma or mind mano kamma,
speech, vachikama, or mind, manokama,
disappear
disappear.
for the first time, for the second time, for the third time, patamadutiya tatiya,
For the first time, for the second time, for the third time. Patamadudiya,
Yeah.
completing 3 times.
repeating 3 times.
I respectfully and humbly pay respect and worship
I respectfully and humbly pay respect and worship
the jewel of Buddha, the jewel of Dhamma, the teachings,
the jewel of Buddha, the jewel of Dhamma, teachings,
and the jewel of Sangha, the community of monks,
the jewel of Sangha, the community of monks,
the 3 jewels, Venerable Sir.
the 3 jewels, Venerable Sir.
Due to the intentional action, Kamma Chetana,
Due to the intentional action, Kamma Chetana,
and goodness of paying respect,
and the goodness of paying respect,
may I be liberated and free from all
may I be liberated and free from all
4 realms of woe,
4 realms of woe,
3 periods of disaster,
3 periods of
Disaster.
the 8 wrong destinations,
the 8 wrong destinations,
5 enemies,
5 enemies,
4 disasters.
4 disasters.
So we have there several disasters. Periods of disaster, and then we have disasters. Okay. So I will complete this one. 5 enemies, 4 disasters. So now let's try it in Burmese. Okata, okata, okata.
Ogata,
Kayakan, wasikan, manokan.
Kayakan, Wesigan, Nogan,
Tabadota.
Sabadota,
Kataindo.
Natendo,
Apietoko.
Pietoko,
Piaupa Sechen.
Yaupas,
Ajurna. Patamadutiya tatiya.
Patamadudiya,
The Jane, the Jane, Don Jane.
The chain.
The chain bốn gì
Miao ang.
Meow.
Phia yatana. Daya yatana. Tengha yatana. Yatana miatong pa do ko. Ayu ate. Ali amya. La o mu yue. Shiko puzo. Pumyo man shot. Kedo bai. Ishen feya. Very well. So let's look at something we didn't look at yet before. Did I already explain to you the 4 disasters? Yes? Okay. So let's move on to let me see how to translate this word. I would call it detriment. The 5 kinds of detriment. So detriment is some kind of loss, also some kind of disaster, but it is something that is not, that could be good, but it's actually bad. For example, Nyati Byatana. So Byatana, detriment. In Sri Lanka, you would say Vyasana, probably, or Vyasana. In Burmese, they say Byatana. So there, some of the things could be actually good, but they are not. You know, they're at a level that's pretty bad. For example, Nyati Byatana. So I'll write that in Pali. Nyati Vyasana. And let's use Vyasana. So that is the loss, destruction of relatives. Then we have Bhoga Vyasana. And that would be the loss or destruction of wealth. Then we have Roga Vyasana. And that is the loss, destruction by disease. Then Ditthibhyasana, which is the loss or destruction by wrong view. And finally, we have Silabhyasana. It is the loss, destruction of one's virtue. Yeah, it's pretty good. So I would like to ask everybody to write this down in your notebooks. You do not have to use the Pali words, all right? You can write just the English, it's totally enough. So today date, you may like to start with the today date. It's September 09, 2023 for all of us. And the heading could be, you could say 5 kinds of detriment. It's there. So please raise your hand if you have finished writing. All right. So let's move on to 96 kinds of diseases right away. 96 kinds of disease. And we will be only summarizing, because here we also have a summary. So those are 32 diseases caused by bile, 32 diseases caused by air, and 32 diseases caused by phlegm. So this is the kind of like classification of ancient India. What's meant is all of the diseases. Now I will send it to you in the chat box so you can write down. So these diseases are listed here in a Wikipedia article. Those of you who know Burmese very well can easily read it. Those of you who don't know Burmese, then it will be a problem. So what you can do, you can theoretically follow a mechanical translation, like translate by Google, but that's very inaccurate. However, I remember trying it one time and it was not so bad. So as you can see, it is not really clear what is tota, okay, what is da, what is ziva, okay. It doesn't look like English word, right? And it is not, because it's not properly translated. Tota actually means ear, okay. Roga means disease. So this is the, well, we have a translation in here. I see, okay, well, fine. So you get some kind of ailment or illness in the ear cavity, in the nose, in the tongue, some kind a wound in the body, tiroga, so a wound in the head, then again wound in the ear, in mouth, in tooth, cough, hiccup, a sore on the nose or in the nostrils, a hot sore inside the body, sick wound, a wound in the stomach, and so on. I think it's not so bad. It definitely makes some sense. And then here you have the translation of the explanation. How do you get 96? Be careful, it's a machine translation of Burmese, so it's definitely not accurate. So the 32 sores are phlegm. So you get here 32, and you get here, these are 34. This is a Burmese number and it signifies number 34. So phlegm for 32 sores, bile 32 sores caused by phlegm multiplied by the 3 winds, 32 ulcers caused by bile, 32 wounds caused by wind. In total, there are 96 kinds of wounds. Okay, those 96 types of wounds are in the book of the, probably in Tipitaka. I see book of the book, it, not sure what that means, is a very prominent in the medical book. So in a famous medical book, the problem here is that you get various different types of counting of diseases. So as you can see, here you have a different number, a different list of diseases, but the same number. And then again another list. Okay, then yet another list, and that is, yes, still 96. They are still keeping it 96. But here you can also have a nice summary, 8 causes of illness. All right, so those are 96. So you can write 32 caused by bile, and the other by air, and then by phlegm. All right, I see that extreme tiredness is coming on me. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming today. It was a pleasure to see you. And I hope to see you all next week again. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you soon attain the eternal bliss of Nibbana.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much, Bhante. Everyone, can you please unmute? Can you put your hand at your chest? Now it's time to say goodbye, Venerable Sir.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Venerable Sir.
Nice, goodbye everyone.